It's 6:23 on this Sunday morning. We're tracking the very latest on Hurricane Irene.
This morning we are joined by Eyewitness News analyst Lieutenant General Reginald Centracchio for some live analysis on the storm and how the state is dealing with the effects. And we want to talk now about the hurricane barrier. It has been closed for the first time since 1991 when the Hurricane Bob was here. What goes into the thought process of when they actually want to close that, and what does that hurricane barrier actually do?
You know, it's an engineering marvel. It serves a dual purpose. First and foremost, it keeps the surge from coming into the city, especially at high tide. And you also have to be concerned about the rivers leading into Providence. So in a normal scenario, you'd have those rivers emptying into Narragansett Bay.
Right.
When you have a surge coming in, you have the rivers coming in at the same time, that's what causes the flood in downtown Providence. With this barrier, what happens is you close the gates, it prevents the surge from coming in, and you have 3 separate pumps and 3 gates specifically. But the pumps are designed to be able to take that river water out and put it into the bay, at the same time keeping the surge from coming into the city. That decision obviously is made by a combination of the concerns about the height of the surge, the amount of rain coming in from the rivers. So if you got a worst case scenario where you have a lot of rain, so you have a lot of volume in the river and a surge at the same time, that's really designed to be able to have the barrier do its job. Now, it depends on commercial power to be operated, because you have some significant pumps there to take that water out and put it into the bay. If we lose commercial power, then you have an embedded system within the complex to be able to generate power to operate the pumps so that we don't see any water backing up either way.
One of the things we were touching upon with you in the last hour was what our National Guard members may be doing this morning. They've not been activated, but they're standing by. What do you expect is going on this morning behind the scenes as people are standing by for, you know, what's to come later with this storm?
Yeah. Most of the tasks are already been identified, basically from our southern communities, and it will all be in the form of supporting local police departments, state police, and other agencies that have really been in a position where they've exceeded their capability. So such things as traffic control, communications, and other things that were identified by the several towns and cities. So that planning is going on as we speak. When someone actually says, okay, we need this, you have several teams in place that would be able to respond to whatever community is having a particular problem.
Final question, we hear the term state of emergency. We've heard it thrown around quite a bit over the last couple of days, and if you hear it, you're like, wow, that's scary. But this is something that's put in place prior to the event actually happening in order to prepare for what might need to be done to fix things.
In this particular case, yes. In the case where you have a known scenario like we have, we knew this hurricane was coming several days ago and perhaps weeks, then you have the possibility of declaring a state of emergency ahead of the actual emergency. This gives the governor of the several states the ability to access federal assets in the form of regional FEMA assets, the National Guard, in order to position us and posture us for eventually going in looking for federal reimbursement under the Stafford Act.
All right, well, we will be checking back in with you shortly. We thank you for joining us for that perspective this morning.